It's Chris. Thank you, Austin. As you mentioned, my name is Chris Thatcher. I was the tech lead for Roid Rage Pandas. Some of the things that I worked on are behind me, but what I really want to talk to you about today is something called locational damage. Locational damage is when you shoot a certain point on an enemy and it does more or less damage depending on where exactly you hit. So let's say I shoot a robot in the head, it will do double the damage as if I were to shoot him in the body. If I shoot him in the arm, it'll do half the damage. The reason we decided to put this in our game is it's become commonplace in modern FPSs, and also it provides a more strategic way to get through our level. So if I run around shooting bullets on the enemy's head all the time, I'm going to get through much faster with much more ammo than if I were to shoot him in the arm. So the first thing we need to demonstrate how this actually works is to bring in a super high-tech robot from the future who has neatly disguised himself as Mr. Potato Head. Now the next step, to demonstrate this is to actually shoot a bullet at this beloved childhood idol. Okay, wow, I went this far. Okay, so now the first thing is we're going to draw a big circle around Mr. Potato Head to see if the bullet is actually inside of the circle. Unfortunately, the bullet is, so we're going to continue testing. The next step is each of his body parts, like Mr. Potato Head likes to do, is they're scattered about through the world. So we're going to make a copy of the bullet and move the bullets to the correct places to match up with the body parts. So now that we do this, we draw an extra circle around each of these body parts to see if the bullet is within any of them. Luckily, the bullet isn't inside any of these. Mr. Potato Head lives to fight another day. However, with the magic of modern technology, I can show you what it may look like if I were to, in fact, to shoot him. This could get graphic. Alright, so that's what it looks like. Pretty graphic. However, without Mr. Potato Head, I couldn't show you how exactly to do this. So for the man who brought you enemies, here is Mr. Ryan Correia.
Alright, thank you, Chris. As you said, my name is Ryan Correia. I was the gameplay lead for Roid Rage Pandas. My main responsibilities were the enemies as well as the actual artificial intelligence which control them. But what I want to talk to you today is about a problem we have with artificial intelligence, which is called navigation. And the way we go about solving this is with something called pathfinding. Now here we have a robot and a piece of cake. As we all know, robots in the distant future use cake as a fuel source. So this robot needs to get to that cake. But the problem is they're separated by some crates. So what we could do here is we could tell the robot to go straight to the cake, but then we're going to have the problem of the robot walking directly into a set of crates. Now, we want the robot to still navigate to the cake, but we want him to go around the crates. So what we're going to do is we're going to create these things called waypoints. And what these waypoints are these little positions we place where we want the robot to walk. Now that we have these waypoints, each of these waypoints each have what's called as an edge. These edges are lines that connect each adjacent waypoint, kind of set up a grid like that. Now that we have all these waypoints with their edges, we find our closest waypoint and the closest waypoint to our goal, and we run a waypoint algorithm. What that waypoint algorithm then does is it kind of does connect the dots from our closest waypoint to our goal and draws a path for us. We then have our robot follow that path. And we successfully navigate to our goal. But we wouldn't have enemies if it wasn't for the correct placement, and to talk to you more about that is Mr. Ryan Harding.
Alright, thanks Ryan. Like Ryan said, my name is Ryan Harding. I was QA lead for Robot Revolt. I worked on mouse and keyboard input, the physics, particle effects, and what I'll be elaborating on today is the Lua scripting. So our game is written in C++, and C++ and Lua go together like peanut butter and jelly. They, the big reason we use Lua is because when we want to change, when we want to make a change to Lua scripts, all we have to do is, go into the script file, make that change, and it's there. We don't have to recompile it like we do for C++ code. So let's take an example, or let's look at an example of how we utilize Lua in our game. Here we have Popeye. He has a camera attached to his head for some reason. Imagine for a second that he is the character in our game, and we want to place another enemy in this room because right now it's a little bare. It's too easy. So we go into scripting mode. The camera detaches from Popeye, and we type in the command that we wish to create. So in this case, it's create enemy. You type that in, an enemy is created before your eyes, and it has all the normal functionality of Rocket Robot, and he's blowing up Popeye. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to obstacles overcome. One that's been plaguing us very recently was the slow Fmod load times for all audio in our game. The load times were getting up to over a minute to get into our game, and that is really unacceptable. We luckily fixed this problem about a week ago, and now they're just like any other game. Another problem was that we've had this concern since day one, getting the player to use the magnets, the magnetic weaponry, instead of just using the assault rifle to mow down the enemies. Using the magnetic weaponry in conjunction with the assault rifle is really the best way, and right now it's almost impossible to beat our game without doing so. Here's another one that plagued us, QNAN. A lot of you may remember back in high school your math teacher is telling you that any number divided by 0 is undefined, and a way that that our computers represent that undefined number is QNAN, quietly not a number. Now the problem was that our player was being sent to QNAN, and that just results in a black screen because you're like in the abyss of computer world. Okay, and then the last one here is the difference in sleeping schedules. Starting out, some of us were not waking up until 2 or 3 in the afternoon, while others were waking up at 7:30 in the morning. We had to compromise a little bit for that, so we started meeting around noon. Yeah, some compromise. Alright, so on to what we've learned. Unexpected tasks arising. The expression best laid plans often go awry holds very true, especially for us. We forgot things like level 2 player collision, loading the level into our game. So we had to go back into the Gantt chart and change those things. Another one is that physical activity really helps, especially for you guys that are in PSG right now. We started playing frisbee, throwing it around every 3 or 4 hours, just to get the blood moving again after 3 or 4 hours of coding, and even playing ultimate frisbee on the weekends. And it really helped just for like team cohesiveness and, like I said, getting your energy levels up again. Another one is proving yourself to your artist. That's really important. Building the rapport with your artists, again, it's very important. When the artist gives you an asset and you get in the next day, then he has more confidence that you're going to be able to do that again the next time he gives you an asset. All right, and the last one here is every team is different. A lot of teams profess that meeting and coding every day is essential to a good game. For us, that wasn't really the case. We only coded maybe 2 days out of the week, but we did keep each other updated every single day to inform others of our progress. All right, so that's it for the slides. Finally, we can show our game. I'm going to hand it off to Josh Burdette. He's going to walk us through as Austin is playing.
Just to clear something up real quick, we didn't code 2 days a week, we coded together 2 days a week.
It sounded more impressive as just 2 days.
Okay, take that last statement